So we're rolling, we're good? Okay. Okay. First of all, thank you very much for coming and being a part of this. Tell us your name and where you're from.
My name is Amber Monahan and I'm from Arizona.
Okay. And your child, tell us your child's name.
Her name is Natalie.
Okay. And give us a little history on Natalie. What's going on? What has transpired with Natalie?
Natalie was diagnosed with stage 4 high-risk neuroblastoma when she was 2 years old. She went through a year and a half of treatment and then was clear of no evidence of disease, of cancer. And then she continued a trial. She finished the trial, and then 8 weeks later she relapsed and did a year more of treatment, and then she passed away about 8 months ago. So.
And how old was she when she passed?
She was 5 years old.
Okay. I know these are tough, but take your time. Take us back to the moment that you realized that something was going on with her health.
So Natalie, she never showed really any symptoms of being sick. Maybe a week prior from her diagnosis, she started running a low-grade temperature, just 99 degrees. And then I noticed that she wasn't eating as much, but she's 2 years old, and 2-year-olds they go through picky stages, and she was also teething at the time. I went out of town for the first time ever leaving her, and she was at my sister's house, and she started getting really bad stomach pains. And so we took her into the urgent care, my sister did, and they said it was just a GI bug, stomach bug. And so the next day when I got there to pick her up, she couldn't stand, couldn't walk, and just crying in pain. So I took her into the hospital, and I thought for sure she had appendicitis. Her fever was high, and I'm a pediatric nurse, so we see it all the time. And so I was really adamant. We had to fight with the doctors to get anything done because they thought I was crazy for bringing her in the day prior for a GI. They said it was just a GI bug. And so when they did the ultrasound, they found out that she had a tumor in her belly. So.
One or two words, how did you feel when you got the diagnosis?
Shocked. And I was shocked and, scared for her.
Okay. How did life change for you as a mother?
Life changed for me as a mom drastically. We went from her, having a healthy, normal childhood to living in hospital for 4 months. She had emergency surgeries right away, and as a mom, I wasn't, there's nothing. You always are helping your child, and you can't help them in the situation. There's nothing you can do. So as a mom, it changed because that was just, it's kind of taken away from you. You're not able to protect your child anymore. So it's a big thing.
In your opinion, your experience, the difference between maybe a child going through cancer, an adult going through cancer, or someone else going through cancer, what
I think the difference between a child and an adult, a child doesn't depending on the age, doesn't fully understand what's going on, so they adapt to it just being their normal. I think they adapt a lot easier than an adult would. Adult they know a lot more, so they know the outcome. So a lot of times adults aren't as positive and optimistic, I guess. A child, they adapt and they think it's the normal. Natalie thought everyone had cancer when they were a kid. So she would always ask me, questions. Mom, when you were a kid and you had your report, did it, So I think it's children, they don't know. They have that innocence still. An adult, they don't have that.
Okay. Move on to a few questions about where were you first time you heard about FAM?
The first time I heard about FAM, I was in New York City, and it was before the foundation was even launched. And I heard about it actually online on social media. I was tagged in a bunch of stuff from people from my hometown from Arizona. So that's how I found out about it.
Okay. And how did you get involved in FAM? What impressed you about FAM?
What impressed me about FAM? So it was before the foundation was launched, and I didn't know it wasn't launched yet. So when Matt Milk and Brian came, and they came to New York, they came and visited us, and I drilled them with questions, a lot of questions, because I honestly didn't know anything about FAM, just hearsay from other parents. So when I was able to talk to them and know where their hearts were, and you could tell that it was something that had true heart to it. So, and Natalie instantly it was something that she bonded with, and something we needed at that time that changed her. So we just gravitated, and it all worked out good.
So leading into that, okay, so Milk, what was your first impression when you met Milk?
Well, so that's who, I was tagged in a lot. He was tagged in a lot of my stuff because we lived in the same county. So a lot of people, that's how we were tagged on Natalie's page. And I actually did a lot of research for probably 4 months before I responded to one of the tags, because I wanted to know other parents, because it wasn't a foundation yet. And so I thought it was my first impression. I just wanted to know why, he got into it, and when he explained why, I don't know what my first impression. I was hesitant at first because I didn't know the reason, but once we met them, I guess it eased my mind. I don't know how to explain it.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And we'll come back to that a little bit later, but I kind of want to know so you getting involved in FAM, how did FAM affect your journey?
So FAM, we were introduced during her relapse treatment. So we never let foundations actually come. We weren't close with a lot of foundations due to I didn't want people in and out of Natalie's life, because when Natalie loved you, she really loved you, and you would be getting FaceTime calls or messages all day long. So one thing I actually had told Milk when we met him is, he assured us that the foundation, wouldn't be in and out. And so that's one thing that really stuck with us, and it meant a lot. It changed us. It changed everything. Natalie would wake up in the morning, and the first thing she would want to do is go online and look at pictures or jokes that were posted for her, and it brightened her day a lot. So when we were just in the hospital, she would just sit there and look at stuff from FAM and other kids. So it was something needed.
Good. The economic impacts, can you speak to the economic impact of having a child with this diagnosis, going through treatment?
It's hard. You can't, for me.
You could rephrase it with the economic impact of.
Sorry.
Good.
So the economic impact is significant. It's hard going through having a child with cancer. A lot of times you can't work. For me, I worked full time, and then I went from not working at all, and we were just in a hospital. So luckily, we were able to get a lot of support in our community that helped us, but a lot of people don't have that at all. So sometimes they're having to leave their children at the hospital by themselves, and relying on the nurses to take care of them while they're trying to figure out how to keep insurance and to feed their other children. It's difficult. We had to travel from state to state, so we were having to pay for rentals, and on top of paying our house payment back home, and still trying to figure out how to pay for insurance stuff, and it hits hard. It's difficult.
Mm-hmm. What is the maybe one thing that you wish you had known when this all began, that would have made this journey, I can't say easier, but would have benefited you to know early on?
One thing that would have changed our journey. One thing that would have changed our journey, maybe knowing one thing that we have now, with FAM, is the moms group. There's other moms groups, but it's nothing, I guess, resourceless. I wish I would have known about a lot of other resourceless, and having parents' advice about just what they did, tricks at home and things to make it easier at home, because it's hard when you're out of the hospital trying to make your child comforted at home. So I guess having the resource list that I know about now that I didn't know about then.
Mm-hmm. And so leading to another question, just parent to parent, what would you like to say to other parents, maybe just at the beginning of this?
In the beginning of this, it's hard, and you get thrown with a lot of information all at once. You have to learn how to become your child's advocate, and I couldn't stress more to a parent to not just listen to what people tell you, and to do your research and do what you have your gut feeling, because it's your child and you don't want those regrets later on.
Okay, excellent. Let's talk just a little bit about Natalie.
Okay.
What's the biggest thing you remember?
Just her, of her.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I remember is just the way she loves on people. She's happy. She's funny, and she can make anyone smile. Just her personality is contagious, and just her personality.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about, we know how you met FAM. Tell us about your activity with FAM now.
So my activity now with FAM, when we've always been involved, with the online groups and everything that FAM has offered until Natalie passed away, and then I couldn't leave FAM, so I decided to volunteer with FAM and continue to give back. to families that have been and are in situations like me. I think it's important to, we help a lot of bereaved families, and now it's something that really I think is important. So so now I volunteer with FAM, and I couldn't imagine not being a part of it. So
Okay, let's go back to Mr. Milk, our wonderful founder.
okay.
The Milk's tattoos in his edgy style can take some people by surprise. Basically, some people can get upset because he doesn't look and act the normal role that you think an
Right.
advocate would be. What would you say to people that haven't really gotten a chance to interact with him? And started off with, I would say, to people that haven't.
I would say to the people that have never interacted with him,
With Milk, start off.
I would say for the people that have not interacted with Milk, to not judge a book by its cover, because he has a big heart and he's in this for the right reasons. He fights harder than any other foundation. I mean, I haven't been anyone, not even just a foundation. For someone that doesn't have a child with cancer, his heart is so huge, and just he fights for what our families need, and we need somebody like that. So I would say to give him a chance and talk to him first.
And let's see. It's the one thing that Milk does that makes you smile and laugh.
One thing, the way that one thing that Milk does that makes me smile and laugh would be just the way that he interacts with the families. He's always goofy and always dancing, and it's fun. The kids like it, the parents, everyone has fun. Everyone, if it's a serious moment, he lights up the room. So it's something.
This is for posterity. We're filming this. Anything you want to say to Milk?
Thank you. Thank you for everything that you've done, and you've fought for our children, and it means a lot.
Okay, so the name of this, we're going to title this is FAM for Life. We know we have the whole Bad Boy for Life thing going. So there's a few phrases that we've come up with. Laughing for life, hanging on for life, breathing for life, dancing for life. In the sense that it's not just something you say, I'm this for life, but day to day, moment to moment, you're actually doing things to cling to life. And so if you could, just a few phrases, maybe a couple words that you're doing for life, that you did for life.
I think smiling for life, giving for life, and I think caring for life.
Good. Now we just want you to, I'm going to count to 3, and I just want you to look into the camera and say, my name is Amber, and I'm FAM for Life. Okay? 1, 2, 3.
My name is Amber, and I'm FAM for Life.
Good. I think that's it.
Oh boy.
You got through it.
Oh.
Careful.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.